Josh Raven here with the Daily Dot at DreamHack Austin, joined by Arya from Team Splyce. Unfortunately, have just been knocked out of the tournament, but considering the situation with the stand-ins, were you expecting to get very far in this tournament, or was this kind of what you were looking at from the start?
Well, I mean, going against LG first, yeah, I didn't, like, whatever happened, right? But against CLG, I did feel comfortable enough where we could actually get a win off them, especially after their showing against Cloud9. So, I mean, yeah, it was kind of like we kind of messed up at the end there, the first map. Second map, I knew it would kind of go towards CLG. The JDM's a really good opera on that map, but again, like, if it went to Cobble, I feel like we could have also won Cobble. So.
What did you think of the performance of your stand-ins? Obviously, Freakazoid is a former pro player. He's been around for Cloud9, but Summit, not so much, more of a streamer coming in. He has been taking a little bit of criticism for his performance in this tournament, but how did you think he did considering the situation?
Yeah, Summit did really well in my opinion. This was his first major event that he's been to. It's been so long for him. We're talking so long since he's played in a big event or even a tiny event. So, you know, he did well in my opinion. Like the first time I played at a big event, I was kind of nervous too, and you know, it took me more than just 3 games before I felt comfortable. So all in all, I felt like he kept his head on his shoulders the whole time, and you know, did what he could. So.
You talk about major events. There was a certain major event that you guys attended recently, MLG Columbus. Again, obviously, as the super underdogs going into that tournament, you weren't able to get too far. But how was that as an experience for you and your team? Did you think you learned a lot from attending that event?
Yeah, I mean, the major was a really good event. It was more so the qualifiers that kind of like did it for us, because we played Vex, we played CLG, we beat both of them, and we felt really good going into it. But then when we saw the brackets, okay, we played Fnatic round 1. So it's kind of the same thing with this. We play LG this one, we play Fnatic the last one. I was just like, dang, we keep getting all these top 1 and 2 teams, right? But no, I mean, it was a good event. I learned a lot from it. I was actually nervous going into Fnatic, and I haven't been nervous like that in I don't know how long. So that was a good wake-up call for me. Just like, all right, there's still, you know, everyone's human though. After that match, like I realized like there's no reason to be nervous, and we're gonna play phased. I felt comfortable, but I think everyone is still a little like shaken after playing Fnatic. And all in all, it was a good event for us. It was a learning experience, and you know, we have the Germany qualifiers coming up soon for the next major, so we're excited for that. We're ready to go.
Before we go and talk about the future, you guys kind of made a name for yourself in the qualifier by doing the whole screaming thing that often is associated with the console gamers. Is that something that was like planned or something like that, or is it Davey or Jason?
Abe.
Abe? It's Abe.
Yeah.
All right. Abe
Abe's the goat screamer.
Just screams himself out. Was that? Did he plan to do that, or was that just something that kind of occurred in the qualifier?
No, we went to the minor. And when we were at the minor, it just started happening. It got to the point where we're getting in trouble by the admins there. They're like, guys, you got to stop, like, swearing at the other team. And it's like, we weren't even swearing. We were just, like, being really loud. And, like, okay, we won't swear or anything. That's fine. But then we just kept on yelling just at that point. It was like no words. We just screamed. And that's what we did because we couldn't say anything. We didn't want to get offensive or anything. And which it wasn't our... it wasn't the reason, so it was just kind of like it all just fell into place, and now it's just becoming like a ritual. Like we just do it, feels good. Reminds me of the old days back in small little LAN centers. So.
Do you think it helps you guys? Because after you guys started doing it, a lot of other teams also started joining in and cheering and screaming when they win rounds. Do you think that actually kind of help the team, or do you think it can sometimes kind of dent your focus a little bit if it gets too much?
I mean, you have to be winning to do that, right? So if you can't be 0-12 and screaming, it just doesn't make sense. So it definitely keeps pushing us forward. It's like we want to just get loud again. Like we want to win that round so we can yell again. So it helps, definitely, being able to celebrate after every round. Because most teams, they don't celebrate till the very end or when they're back in their hotel room or whatever. So we're just like, let's do it every round. Why not? We want it, so. Okay,
well, looking forward, you obviously talk about qualifiers coming up, but the team at the moment, there's a couple of issues. Obviously, you had Freakazoid standing in for Professor Chaos. I believe he's now off the lineup, but Abe will be coming back, obviously, from his holiday. How does the future look? Are you looking at Freakazoid as a possible, permanent replacement, or are you still looking around for other players to join up?
We're looking around for other players, just casually, though, nothing serious. Ryan's a great player, but, I mean, we haven't talked about it or anything like that. And with... right now, since it's only a month away, we're probably going to keep the same 5 just because there's not enough time to prep for that. And we'll see how it goes because Professor Chaos, he still wants to play, but he just has a lot of issues with his PC where it'll lag, and we've tried different computers, tried stuff like that. Just something's going on with it, and he doesn't know what the reason is, and I felt it. Like, it's just like, it feels like an FPS drop, but it's not. So, I don't know, it's really weird. But if he can't get that fixed, then yeah, it looks like we'll have to replace him, but in a replacement, I don't want to lose him, so I'm going to have him go to Coach. He has a really good mind for the game, probably the smartest player I've ever played with. So in my opinion, like losing him will be terrible. So even if he's not performing well, just having him in game with us talking about what we should do next is extremely helpful. So if we can get him to a coach role and pick up a new fifth that can frag well, then yeah, that's the step in the right direction.
So would you be looking towards him to be kind of in-game leading for the team? Because obviously I know you yourself, you've done in-game leading, AWPing. What are you doing right now for the team? I saw you holding the AWP today at certain times. You've done both. Are you leading the team as well now?
Yeah, so I call on a couple maps, like Overpass and Dust 2 I'll call on. But Professor Chaos, I've kind of given him free reign for the past couple weeks. He's been our strat caller for about 2 to 3 weeks now. I've been strat calling, though, for the team for about a year now. And so we changed that up, and it's been working really well because it allows me to focus more on my game, and I'm able to just run around and get kills. So I don't want an op. We do want to find an opper, but if we can't find a suitable opper, then I will go back to the op role. I'm perfectly capable of doing it. It's just right now I have like my sensitivity higher than I normally would because I'm doing both, like you saw. Like sometimes I'm opping, sometimes I'm not. So it's more of a rifle sense. So if I do decide to go full-time op again and we pick up a rifler and everything works out like that, then yeah, I'll set my settings up for it and go full-time op again and focus on that. But for now, it's just looking for that perfect fifth.
Okay, well, as we're talking about that now, obviously Splyce, they're kind of a weird team in the sense of the North American kind of standings. Mm-hmm. You got your tier 1 teams like CLG at the moment, Luminosity if you count them as North American, and then Splyce all of a sudden get into the major, beating CLG, and then after the major kind of dropping down a little bit, having some issues. Where do you see yourself currently within the North American kind of hierarchy?
Well, I mean, I can't really put myself in a tier, put my team in a tier, because we are very capable of beating any team. That's never been an issue for us, but we're also very capable of losing to any team, and that's where we kind of fall off. It's like we'll go and beat CLG, we'll beat C9 or something, and then we'll play just some random team and end up taking a loss, and it hurts our rankings. But that just comes with stability, and that's what we're trying to work towards. That's why we're trying to get Andrew to go, or PC to go to that coach role and find that fragger in that fifth role. So it's like there's no computer issues, nothing like that. So, I mean, that's what we're working towards, and hopefully we can get there.
Okay, well, obviously, unfortunately, you guys are out of the tournament now, but it's still going on. Everyone's saying Luminosity are the favourites. Who is your favourite to now take the tournament?
Favorites to take the tournament? It's probably LG. I have crazy respect for those guys. They really know what they're doing, and they don't play that standard CS that some teams do where it's just like they pull out a strat book and they can just read from it. They just have free reign of the map just because they're skilled enough to do that. So it's kind of like a Fnatic, what they do. But at the same time, they do have their strat book that they can whip out at any time. So I really respect those guys and their play style, and I think they'll take it.
Is there any upset potential from any teams, you think? Someone that teams people might not expect to come up and challenge them, or do you think it's pretty set on either LG or maybe even Tempo Storm as well?
Tempo Storm could upset them. It's like a big brother, little brother thing. So anything can happen there. So they both have something to prove, to each other. But then on top of that, Liquid, C9 has their new fifth and their new coach. So that's interesting. They could perform. They could still have things to work on that prevents them from doing well. But they have the skill. There's no doubt about that. And then Liquid. I mean, Liquid's really good. I consider them probably the second best team in NA under LG right now. So they can always do it.